the moment, I'm currently in Peru, so looking forward to giving you guys a quick update on OROX and our activities over the past couple months. As always, the forward-looking statements, which we will be making, all the plans and activities we currently have going on. So as you mentioned, OROX is led by a team with a track record of success. My partner in the deal, Paul Matisik, is the reason why we're named OROX. The X brand obviously came from Lithium X, which was taken out for $280 million. Paul's currently the CEO of GoldX, which currently has a $180 million market cap, about a year after he took over. And OROX is a Peruvian exploration deal at the moment. But I'll go into why we think that has the potential to change. Our other partner, of course, Del Cardi, a well-known Vancouver financier involved with deals such as Underworld, Core Mining, etc. And I would also mention Nick Rowley is on our board from the Rowley family in Australia, First Quantum. He came in through our acquisition of these assets, which came from Titan Minerals in Australia. Again, with the track record, this is basically a lot of Paul and Daryl's previous deals. It's easy to do it once. I think when you do it 5 or 6 times, it speaks to a pattern, and we're very proud to carry the X brand in OROX through our activities. Investment highlights. New company and team. Our flagship high-grade gold project, the CORIORCCO asset, is an asset we had our eyes on for quite a time before we acquired it middle of last year. I would like to point out that we took over OROX, the shell that became OROX, we took over January 28th of last year. In less than 1 year, we've completed 2 acquisitions. We did our original listing acquisition, which was an Ecuadorian project, the Julian project. And in June of this year, we acquired CORIORCCO and Los ANTAS with Paul, rebranded as OROX. So basically, if you look at it, we're doing an acquisition every 6 months. Now, a lot of people say to me, Louis, what are you guys doing in an exploration play? Well, I would tell you this. If you look at our share structure, you look at our cash, you look at some of the investors that we have on the register, we're aiming for more. We're a team that I think, my background specifically is banking. I was head of Canaccord's LatAm business for many years. I've financed mining deals for the past 13 years. And Paul and I are both currently in Peru. We're not here for the ceviche, we're here to work. And, we're looking at quite a few other deals, which I think we should hopefully have some news on soon. So again, 42.9 million shares out, 25% held by insiders, a proven team, and a tight share structure. Speaks to the future, I think. Why Peru? I won't get too much into why Peru. I think any of the investors at this conference are probably aware of the country. I would note regarding the COVID situation that, our country had a very large first wave early last year. And at the moment, things are, I wouldn't say they're normal, but they're okay. We're working as normal here in Lima. At the project, we've been there since September, again, with no problems. So Peru, I think, is a relatively okay place to be at the moment. And in the future, it will always be a tier 1 mining destination. Regarding OROX projects, CORIORCCO and Los ANTAS, again, they're here in the southeast of Lima in the Ayacucho province. They're both the same projects. I will talk to you briefly about why we split them into two. And that was really around permitting. The flagship asset that we have is the Cerro Domo area, which is here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but in the yellow part where you can see CORIORCCO, Cerro Domo is a 700 by 1 kilometer dome system with 17 known veins. So it's called a domo because obviously a dome. CORIORCCO is at 4,000 meters of altitude. The dome outcrops about 200 meters. And over top of the dome, there's currently 17 known veins, 2 of which were previously mined by the previous operator. The reason we went after this project, Brian, was because between 2010 and 2011, vein 6 and vein 3 were mined. There was over 10,000 tons of mineral brought out, grading between 7 to 12 grams. Paul and I actually got our hands on the production records from back then. They were sold to a toll mill whose partners we knew. And, we figured that they had, without any mining control, they had been achieving pretty good grades from these veins. The veins were thick. And, there's 2 veins that were mined. And again, there's 17 at surface. The next operator took over this project, Titan Minerals, in 2018. They went ahead and sampled all 17 veins, which leads us to see this now. So this map, you see kind of a top-down view of the vein system. They did a sampling program over all 17 of the veins. The average grade at surface was 3.5 grams. Okay. Now the average grade 50 meters below in the two developments was 7 to 12 grams. In vein 6, you had a 50-meter down shaft, and the grade at the bottom was 13 grams per ton. So this leads us to believe that what we really have at CORIORCCO is the upper reaches of a low sulfidation epithermal system. Now, to the east and northeast of the vein system, there is younger geology, which we believe is covering up sort of more veins, right? Right now, we just announced a few days ago that starting February 1st, we're going to be on site doing a 3D IP program at CORIORCCO. The reason why we're doing a 3D IP program is to basically go out and discover whether there's more veining to the east and northeast. Also to delineate our drill targets for drilling, which we hope to start sometime this year. We're going to be starting on that soon. One more thing to mention at CORIORCCO, just while I show you some geology photos for those of you that might be geologists. I'm a banker by trade. We took over the project in September of this year. The first thing we did was we sent our community team up to the project. CORIORCCO was historically known as a project that was tough to work in, tough to permit, et cetera, et cetera. We didn't believe that to be true. I think what happened was that people are coming to CORIORCCO and treating it as a foreign company project. We went in with a Peruvian face. I'm obviously Peruvian. All my partners here are Peruvians. We sent our community team, and we're very close to announcing a 6-year exploration access agreement with the community, something that has never happened before at CORIORCCO. So again, by having a Peruvian face, a Peruvian team, a Peruvian attitude towards mining, we've been able to achieve what I think previous operators haven't been able to do, and we have our hands on what we believe to be a tier 1 exploration asset. Las ANTAS is really the southern extension of the CORIORCCO project. The reason, again, why it was split up into 2 different projects was because in Peru, you can actually operate projects under what's called the small-scale mining legislation. So if I could just go briefly back here. By splitting up the projects into 2 and keeping them each under 2,000 hectares, you could, as a Peruvian person, as a Peruvian subsidiary, you could actually go ahead and operate. You can even drill underground via small-scale mining permit. Now, that was our plan when we took over CORIORCCO and Las ANTAS. However, if in the future we became part of a larger company and CORIORCCO and Las ANTAS became a secondary project, say, then we would go ahead and do the full environmental impact assessment and operate that way. But at the moment, we split them up into 2 projects so that we could quite rapidly go ahead and start drilling CORIORCCO and Las ANTAS. I spoke earlier about what happened to the company when we first took over in January of last year. Our first listing asset was a Julian asset. That's an Ecuadorian asset. I have a lot of experience in Ecuador. I financed what became the largest gold producer in Ecuador in 2017 and 18 until it was sold. Our partners there was a company called Green Oil, which is Ecuador's largest mining consultancy, mining contractor. We had a deal with them to basically start rolling in their Ecuador projects. Julian was the first one. Obviously, with the acquisition of CORIORCCO and Las ANTAS, Julian became a tier 2 project. We were planning to spin up Julian in the future, but again, we have a good presence in Ecuador, and it will be a project that we look to spin out. Upcoming catalyst, why should you buy our stock? Look, we're very clear about our M&A sort of focus. We've always been a company that tries to grow by acquisition. We have a tight share structure, we have cash in the bank, and we have access to capital. We have some of the biggest investment funds in Australia as our shareholders through our deal with Titan Minerals to acquire CORIORCCO and Las ANTAS. And we're on the lookout for assets. We're here in Peru full time. Both Paul and I, we think there'll be news on that in the near future. We will be beginning the shooting at CORIORCCO for the 3D IP in February. We had planned a Q2, Q3 drill program at CORIORCCO under the small scale mining legislation. And later on in the year, the spin out.